All right, here we go. Welcome to another. Oh no, it's the wrong display. There we go. Welcome to another episode of ETE. I am your host, Marcus, the grand finale, and I'm joined by
Three faces of Jemal. You already know. Bang. Bang
just
bang.
like it's like an episode of Moon Knight. Just three faces in the intro. I don't
There's gonna be
know.
like three faces, just one here, one here, one here.
You get a graphic that goes three faces just as you say it.
And it comes back.
Yeah, it just goes back. All right, we're back in the show. Well, welcome to Everything Else, where we cover everything else other than WWE and AEW, even though it's almost impossible in this current landscape to not talk about AEW, considering that they work with New Japan and everybody else these days, and Ring of Honor and all that. So if we do, sorry for breaking that one rule of everything else. We will. It all spills over into everything at this current point in wrestling, which is a weird thing to do.
That's
But
what happens
today,
when you try to poach. That's what
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
Trying to be Vince McMahon 2.0 doesn't work.
And that's what happens when Vince McMahon decides fire everybody. Everybody goes
We're gonna
everywhere,
start off with a clean slate. We're gonna fire everybody and then hire everybody again.
and we're gonna start with Tiffany Stratton and Wendy Chu. And shit. That's what we're starting with. We're starting over. So we're gonna be talking about, for the most part, the event that happened over the weekend, the New Japan Windy City Riot, big event, main event, Will Ospreay versus the Death Rider, Jon Moxley, which he only uses in New Japan. I don't even know if he likes that moniker, but he's the Death Rider there.
Where is the death in this rider?
I don't know. I've never even seen him ride anything. Never seen him on a bike. Never seen him do anything. Like it's nothing about him says Death Rider, but you know what? He's ride or die. Maybe that's what the translation's lost. It's like, yeah, I ride or die. Oh, okay. Death Rider. Damn it.
He needs to get his combat Blackpool Combat Club with the jackets, Death Riders.
So, Jemal, how I'm going to cover this show? First, I want to just cover the main event, which covered that first, the Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay match. And then we're just going to talk about the other stuff that you enjoyed on the show. This main event was awesome. It was really good. It was, I think, this full evolution of like Ospreay, of just not just being an athletic guy, but just an overall talented wrestler is like almost complete. It just seems like he's just in the zone. What are your thoughts on this match?
I've always been a big believer in Will Ospreay, way back to when he was in Best of Super Juniors with fucking Ricochet, and even before then, like even afterwards, like being in the heavyweight division, facing like Kota Ibushi and Omega and all those people. Like, this is probably one of the best we've ever seen Will Ospreay, and I watched Wrestle Kingdom last year, so like, yeah, this is one of the best Will Ospreays that is in existence, and I don't see him slowing down any. I mean, he's got this brand new faction, he's got this aura about him that's like top tier, and if you think about like the people that he's wrestled versus him today versus back then, I mean, look at where Ricochet is and look where Will Ospreay is. You see what I'm
Ricochet is
saying? There's a
currently the
big
Intercontinental
difference.
Champion. What? He's the current Intercontinental Champion.
Will Ospreay is
I know,
already a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion right now, concurrently. Talked about being one of the best wrestlers in the world, facing the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah, and I think the hits just keep on coming. I for this match, I felt like I didn't know what to expect. I thought, how physical was it gonna be. It's a box match, so I was expecting some type of blood and violence and stuff. But this one started off really like hot. It was just like swinging off the bat, and then there were just so many just key spots of just like good selling and just like the both men being exhausted and just beating the hell out of each other for over 25 minutes, I think, something like that. I forget the actual
Yeah, it
time.
was like 20, 25, 26 minutes of them just beating the crap out of each other. And Like there was moments in the match where I was actually concerned for Osprey because he's just coming off of this neck injury that New Japan stripped him off the world title, and I'm just like, oh my god, he's just taking these bumps and it's scary. Like
Yeah,
I don't want another like Big E situation with his neck or just the situation again with his neck and stuff like that. He's taking those Germans right on the neck. He got hit with a curb stomp right on the neck. I was like, Jesus Christ. That flip that he did outside and he hit the freaking bear. Yo, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, man, take care of yourself at this point. But I think he's adding to it that he knows that everybody knows he's coming from this neck injury. And he's like, oh, I'm going to sell the neck injury as if every big move's attacking my neck. My opponents have to go after my neck and I have to sell it. That way it does add that sense of like, oh shit, he's in jeopardy. Each match is like, oh. But there's part of me was like, man, you need to chill. Because there were some Germans when I was like, dude, you're all on your neck. I was like, you're gonna fuck yourself up. But seems to be in control. Seems to be in control. My spot of the match though is the elbow to the outside though.
The elbow to the outside was crazy.
Because he's jumping from the top rope area to the outside, through a table, over the barricade, landed perfectly on Mox. I feel like I would have overshot it. I'm not athletic at all, but I would have overshot that or undershot it or he nails it perfectly down in the middle. And I was
the
like,
crowd was electric when he hit that. Like as soon as he got up from the thing, like you could see like the audience just like you could feel the electricity. I was watching at work. I was at work when this happened and transpired. So I'm already looking at a computer screen and I'm looking at my phone and I disregarded work when I seen this. I was just looking at the match. I was like, oh my God, what is happening?
Yeah.
So
oh man. But it was just a really good main event, and it's what you expect from a good New Japan main event. Like I was like, man, I was blown away. And as I was watching the show, I was like, let's see how this main event lives up to some of the other stuff, because there was a lot of stuff where there was good stuff on this show. Like the match before, Ishii and Suzuki just hitting each other. They've done this match a million times.
Talking about beating the crap out of each other. Jesus.
Yeah. They were just beating the crap out of each other. And I've seen this match, I don't know how many times. They've fought, I don't know. It's been a bunch. But
it's been
time,
quite some time.
Like they elevated. Yeah.
More intense each time that they do it. It's like a Shawn Michaels match or a Shawn Michaels Triple H match. It never gets old. Like, John Cena, Randy Orton matches. It never gets old. Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe matches. Never gets old. Like, put those two together at any time. We're waiting for CM Punk and Samoa Joe to go at it again. Well, we'll see how that goes.
They're gonna cross paths. The way it's currently at right now, I don't even want to go into it, but I don't even know how they're gonna even cross paths. Samoa Joe has a 7-foot basketball player to deal with. And his two kids, Jay Lethal and Sanjay, who look like little babies standing next to him. I don't want to know how CM Punk even gets to Joe, but I'm sure they'll find a way. But this was just two guys hitting each other and just going around the ring area fighting. And there were moments of, like Suzuki trying to hit that Godfather driver on him. And he's like, trying to pick him up and going down. It's like the strength to do that, to keep falling down and coming back up and never actually touching the ground. I was like, exactly. Jesus, you're like 50 something, man. Just lay it down. Lay it down.
The fact that Minoru Suzuki is like 50 something years old and still going the way and the rate that he's going is just really impressive to me. And he's not the only one. I mean, like, you got Great Muta out there winning world titles and stuff like that too. So like, it's insane to me how wrestling is one of those sports that you can go pushing past 50, past 60, past. I mean, Ric Flair lasted, he was 70 something years old.
60. I don't know if he got to 70.
Yeah.
I think he's 70 now.
McMahon has how old?
76, taking stunner bumps. The best stunner bump I've seen.
Bumps. God. Jeez.
It's a different age. And I posed this question, I think, on multiple shows on this channel. But I haven't posed to you. Who's your best old guy in wrestling right now? Because there's a lot of them. Who's your best?
Best old guy in wrestling right now? I would have to give it. I would have to give it to. See, I was gonna say Tim Storm, but I can't ignore Great Muta. I can't ignore him. You know,
Yeah. I haven't
Great
watched the
Muta
Muda
is
match since he randomly showed up in TNA for that little bit. And
he can still go. And I'm talking about all the best guys in Noah, like all these young cats in Noah, like Gogo Shizaki and he can still go. Like I would still be afraid to be in the ring with Great Muta. Another old guy that I think that is doing very fantastic, very well. I wouldn't consider Amazing Red an old guy, but he's one of the older guys that's been in wrestling for a long time, and he's still going. Like he never missed a day, and yeah.
My number one right now is probably it's Suzuki and Dustin Rhodes, because I feel like Dustin's getting better, and I think he's 50 something. I don't know, but he seemed like he's better now than he was even back then. Like he's just smarter in how he does his matches and stuff. And then you got that old motherfucking Sting jumping off tops of roofs and stuff. I don't know what Sting is nice.
I'm not gonna give the nod to Sting because Sting is now just a thrill seeker. He's taking a notch. He's taking a notch in his younger protege Darby Allin's book, and he's like, "Oh, you're launching off of stuff? I can do that too." Swab, and this jump off a table and doing
like
crazy
Terry
things.
Funk right now, randomly, just like, I'm gonna do a move. Like, I'm 60.
Man, Terry Funk doesn't look good, but
no. One of the great old guys in the history of the business, just old and surviving somehow, still doing some of his shit. It was
still doing the dang thing. Tenzon is pretty up there too. Like that motherfucker old. Tenzon is old boy. God.
There's some old dudes. Jericho's actually considered. He's old. He's in his 50s.
He's getting up. He's up there too, man.
Yeah, these old guys are.
Speaking of old guys, this Bullet Club versus United Empire match with old Scott Norton, man.
They dug up Scott. No, it wasn't even old guys. They dug up a dead man and put him in the ring and put Scott Norton in there. And I'm looking like. I think he had a 20-year age gap over anybody even in the ring, even over everybody around. Maybe a 20-year. Scott Norton must be in his 60s at this point, maybe more. Dude barely can move. Did like a few body slams, and I was like, "All right, Scott, man, go home, man, go home."
The guy was in church pants and New Balances. Doing body slams and trying to take out some of the biggest hitters. Like I think like when he was tagged into that match, he wanted Jeff Cobb initially. I'm just like,
yes,
you're right. Jeff Cobb. Like can't even pick like Great O'Khan or somebody. Like no, he wanted Jeff Cobb off the rip. I was like, nah.
Yeah. I think
Aaron Henare ended up taking care of him though.
Yeah, did he want to do a test of strength with I was like, man, you about to die. This is the end of you, Scott Norton. Rest in peace, Had a good run. WCW legend. But
a lot of people forget he's a New Japan legend too. Like, he's a former IWGP heavyweight champion.
Yep. It's forgotten. It's forgotten in that era, but he's actually had a really good career in Japan as well. But I associate him 100% WCW Scott Norton.
NWO Scott Norton with the brick tights.
Yeah, teaming with Bagwell and stuff like that. Another one of my favorite matches was Filthy Tom Lawlor versus Yuji Nagata.
What a match!
Yeah, I don't know what I was gonna expect, but again, another old guy, but didn't feel like it at all. It was just straight up nice.
So let's talk about how this match started. So Filthy Tom's group? Was it
or something like that? I forget.
Team Filthy just won their match against some randoms and stuff like that with Fred Rozier. Fred Rocher was getting his waxed. He was getting waxed by Team Filthy, and here comes Yuji Nagata. Just dun dun dun, like he's just coming down. He does the blue justice, and then goes all the way down to the ring, clears out the ring, and it's like, fight me for the belt, for the NJPW strong belt, and he did. And again, like going back to the old guys doing great things, like wow, there was a point in the match where I thought Yuji Nagata dead had to win when he did the dragon suplex, and he was like this close to win. And Tom Lawlor got out of it. He hooked him with like an ankle lock type deal, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
I was shocked by this match when it happened. I was like, oh, what they gonna do? They probably gonna go a couple of minutes, but nah, man, they went the full like 20 something maybe or something like that, and it was just nonstop, just physicality. And I, at that moment when this match happened, I was like, that's my match to beat of the show. This was really good. And I was like, maybe because like it was a lot of tag matches, and I'm more of a singles match kind of person, and that's probably why I was really gravitated. But I was like, damn, I'm fucking blown away by this match. I was like, this is so good.
There was a lot of tag matches in this, and all of them were awesome, or pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I think this was CJ Parker or Juice Robinson's last time in the New Japan ring. So
yeah, I believe
it
so,
was
yeah.
it was him, David Finlay, and I forgot who the heck they had. But then they had
I forgot to.
it was versus the Mighty Don't Kneel 2.0, which is going to be Jonah and Shane Haste, who formerly known as Shane Thorne, aka Slapjack, for those Retribution lovers out there, and Big Tito.
Brody King was their partner.
Brody King was the other guy.
Yeah. You know, I forget about Brody King every time he showed up, and I was like, oh yeah, Brody King. And then even when you were talking about, I was like, fuck, I can't remember what week. And then you think about like the House of Black and how they're not really doing anything.
It was interesting when they when they mentioned in the entrance from the House of Black, Brody King, and I was just like, they're mentioning the House of Black here, like you're not gonna separate it, like
nah,
I guess not.
It's all one. It's all one, which is teasing the.
But it messes me up because the House of Black is a heel group. So why is he with these babyface names? Like,
oh man, different times, different causes.
You know what I'm saying? Like they could have swapped Big Tito and Brody King on the opposite sides. They could have swapped that out, and the same result could have happened. And it would have got Big Tito a push.
Yeah. Let's celebrate the Big Tito. Like, all right, you beat everybody. They could have. But I'm okay when wrestlers are not heels at other promotions and stuff like that. Because I feel like if I would go to a different territory, there are some territories in this world where I'm not probably liked. I'm sure there's a lot, but I'm just saying there are some territories where you're not liked. And that's why I incorporated with wrestling. Like, oh, here, he's a bad person, let's say AEW. But in this land, this part of the world, he's a hero.
He's a hero. Yeah, he's a hero.
Teaming with FinJuice for the last time, and this is something that I wanted to touch on a little bit. If you were Juice Robinson, what are your options? Where do you go if this is your last New Japan match?
I'm not looking at WWE again. I'm not doing that. AEW is iffy. If I was Juice, I would go to Impact. I would go to Power. One of the two. Yeah. Solidify my name there.
I think Impact will be the better place for him because one, he already has his foot in the door there. He's already working there. He was already a tag team champion earlier this year or last year, whichever. And I think that would be the best place. I would not look at WWE because he would just get lost in the shuffle and be a CJ Parker again. And
these damn name changes on everything. Kaylee Ray's not Kaylee Ray no more. Cat Canzaro's Katana Chance or some stupid name. I don't know.
Everybody.
He done went to Butch.
Cruz Del Toro, Butch, Gunther.
Ludwig, whatever. Gunther, like Jesus.
They are on one with the name changes, and they are really they're committed to it. At least they're committed to it. Like, we want to own all your names at this point. Vince is I want to own everybody's name. Fuck it. And so you're going to wake up one day and just be like, Matt Riddle isn't Riddle anymore. He's the puzzle man or something stupid like what?
The puzzle man. This is
Can't use your
snakeskin
name.
boot. Snakeskin boot. He's always been snakeskin boot. Former NXT. Like what? No.
No. He's longest rating in NXT North American Champ snakeskin boot. Like you just describing things now. No. But me personally, I don't honestly care about the name change. I care more about the character change. I adapt to name changes because I would get used to it. Whether it's like Brian Danielson, I'm so used to calling him Brian Danielson when he was in, his Ring of Honor indie days, and then he goes to WWE, and now I'm saying Daniel Bryan. And then when he's back in AEW, I have a hard time saying Brian Danielson.
Yeah, I just call him the American Dragon at this point. Just everybody knows that he's always been the American Dragon. So
yeah.
It's like getting used to calling Pac when he was Adrian Neville. I was like, oh look, it's Neville. I mean, it's Pac. Like it's kind of crazy.
You go back and forth. Like Malachi Black is I still call him Alistair. Like, and
I still call him Tommy End.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I still call him Tommy End. I still do I still do that from time to time. Crazy.
So name changes, I'm always like, I'm more about the character. Back to it. The US of J Open Challenge. Probably my third favorite match. I go back and forth between this and Lawlor and Nagata.
I love this match. I love this match not only because Jay White is so incredible, but fucking Shooter came and did his excursion. He got a big pop. I remember when Moxley was teasing this guy when he was a young lion all the time, and now he's basically like developed into this huge star. Well, not huge star, but like his star is definitely rising. It reminds me of Roppongi 3K when they were the Tempora Boys, and then they became Roppongi 3K, and now they're their own entities at this point.
Now it's
Show doing what Show doing.
I honestly forgot his partner's name already. Fuck the other partner. I only cared about Show. Show was the only person in that team that mattered. The other guy was clearly Janetti. I can't really remember his name. I never could.
Yo. It's Yo.
That's why I can't remember, man. You can't be going by Yo, because that's how I'm gonna call you anyway. It's Show and Yo. What's his name?
Yo, Show and Yo.
Yeah. But this was a really good match.
He was whooping Jay White's behind.
Yeah, I thought he was actually gonna win.
I really thought so too.
There were a bunch of close near falls that made me go, oh, real quick in the middle of this match, and I when it just ended, I was like, oh, you know what? That's probably one of the best. But that was a really good match.
What a lot of people don't know is that, he wrestles in Ref Pro Wrestling. So he's been wrestling some of the top people in the world. The Zack Sabre Jr. is the Will Ospreay, who's the current Ref Pro heavyweight champion. He's wrestled him already before for the title, and losing effort, but a great losing effort. Like, he's on the precipice of becoming this star. So sooner or later, he's going to end up back in the New Japan ring. And when he does, watch out.
This was a really good showcase. It reminded me, and I know it's very similar in the John Cena United States Challenge or whatever. It's the very same thing, same concept. But
except without a belt.
Without a belt, it's just you're fighting Jay White and trying to knock him down. I don't honestly know your purpose of fighting Jay White is other than I want to punch Jay White. But this was a really good, like, damn, we're turning somebody to a star right in front of our in every match. It's just like, this is really good. Other than that, we had the, we kind of touched on the Chicago Street Fight, there a bunch of other tag matches, but overall, I thought it was a really good show. It was a nice, well-spent 3 hours. That got better and better as it went on throughout the night.
Yeah, there was no lulls in anything. Even the little dark match that they had before the show, with like Clark Connors and what's his face, Carl Fredericks, the Alpha. That I haven't seen him do no Alpha anything. So like, you know what I'm saying.
We be here together. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I haven't seen him do any Alpha anything, but from the pre-show all the way to the main event, to the new challenges that's going to be. It's like Eddie Kingston versus Ishii. Moxley is definitely not done with. Osprey is not done with Moxley. Just hard
Tanahashi
hitting matches. Yuji Nagata showing why he's one of the absolute best old men in the ring. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
They did tease a few matches. I'm assuming they were going to this tease announce of the New Japan versus AEW show happening sometime in possibly Chicago, according to where she said that's maybe the show, and that's probably where maybe Tanahashi and Mox are going to have a match, or Ishii and Kingston are probably going to have their match, or they haven't actually. They might be having on Dynamite or something. I remember.
Has Tanahashi been ducking Moxley this entire time?
He has been. If you watch Dynamite, Moxley was calling about, this is before the pandemic or in the middle of it. He was like, everybody's coming over here, but I want that motherfucker over here. And I guess he's been ducking him the whole time. And
it's no different than when Moxley was ducking Kenta that entire time.
Yes.
Before he became United States champion.
When Moxley just took the United States title, put it in his house. That shit was just buried back there during the pandemic.
Renee, can you polish it for me every other day?
Yeah, so a lot to see coming from New Japan, and just the world of wrestling is just crazy right now. Just everybody's everywhere. If you watch NWA, everybody's on that show. It's going to be on Impact and New Japan Strong. It's just like everybody is everywhere. It's a nice filtering out. Other than Windy City Riot, Jemal, do you have any other show you would like to talk about?
Well, the Pope didn't do what he said he was going to do. Cashed in for no reason, and he lost.
He lost. This is the era of Matt Cardona. You fool. You cash in when he cools off. The man's on fire. He's taken the internet by storm. He's taken the indie wrestling community by storm. This is the guy right now. He is someone who left WWE and basically built their stock up, which a lot of people don't do. They kind of just stay in the same spot. Cardona kind of just reinvented himself, turned himself into this basically a monster heel, basically the WWE guy winning all the independent titles and talking shit about all the indies. It's like what if the Miz would have won the title basically on the indies at this point.
Oh man, how mad would people be? How mad would people be? God. The Miz wins. Miz wins the Ring of Honor championship. Miz wins the AEW title. Miz wins the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Like, wow.
Miz is the Rev Pro. Beats Will Ospreay and takes that title.
He's not even British.
How did he even get a title shot? This is bullshit. Miz, PWG champion.
He brought back WCPW and then he's the champion. He brought it back. It's out of retirement.
Like, that's what's pretty much going on with Cardona for those who aren't following. It's just that's the kind of character he's playing. Basically, what if the Miz won all the indie titles? And he's currently has up to 8. And the Pope, and losing effort. We were talking earlier about how the Pope has never won anything. But, it's somebody you do root for because he is one of the most charismatic wrestlers we've had in probably the past, I want to say 10 years, but I'm sure it's longer than that at this point.
He's basically Marcus Corban, a.k.a. the alpha male. Like, missed opportunities all around. And I'm trying to figure out if it's a black thing or not. And it's hard to say, because black wrestlers been winning this past 3 years. Black wrestlers been winning, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's more. It might be his. I don't know. His in ring isn't the best. Like, it's good, but I know when he was coming up during the Impact days and the extended ECW days or whatever those days are called, it wasn't the best, and I think it's more catching up to his current in-ring work and his mouth skills now in his later age. I don't know where he's at, to be honest.
So he's Tyrus then.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Tyrus is garbage. Tyrus is garbage. Tyrus has no charisma and sucks in the
Somebody
ring.
call my mama. Beating everybody on power. What?
Beating everybody on power, his body slam challenges, and showing up on Fox News the next day. I ain't got time for no Tyrus and all that shit.
What's this about Austin Idol being what's that guy's name's Pops or something like that?
Yeah, I'm blanking out on the dude's name now. I hate when someone says what's that guy's name, because immediately I forget. The masked dude. Yeah, and now he's his father. He's like, "What'd you whisper to him?" I told him who his father was. He's a legend and all this, and it's me. And I'm like, "Where we going with this?
Where are we going with this? Oh my god!
This is not. But
That's just gonna be another. That's just gonna be another May Valentine interview. So you are the father of like.
Yeah, right off the bat. Yeah. There's a lot. We talked a little bit about the Commonwealth, which is Davey Boy Smith and Doug Williams. Mostly we talked about Davey Boy Smith, how he ate his pops and all that.
Brian Pillman ain't his pops either. Neither is Curtis Axel.
We go through a list. You can go through a list. Brock Anderson, Brian Pillman Jr., all these guys. And Brock is still young, I know, but I already see it. It's nice pops. Nice pops. That's what's gonna hold him back. Like, it's very few that actually exceed their dad in their reputation. I don't know who. Like, I guess Randy Orton would stand out. Someone who overexcels.
Randy Orton, The Rock. Who else is better than their pops? Shane McMahon.
If you want to go in ring, I'm giving Stephanie the nod, man. Forget it. Stephanie don't fall through tables. She has a real match each time, which is terrible. Yeah.
Oh man. Even William Regal's son is doing great things.
Yeah. Charlie Dempsey, Difamilia, who I believe in the current WWE state of bringing people over from 2.0, they're probably next to come over from the UK. Because
they gotta bring them all together though. They have to bring them all together, and then they have to like the angle that Joe Gacy is doing with Braun Breaker is what they should be doing.
Well, I think when they come over, if they do come over, they're going to feud with either Legardo or Manny's favorite wrestler, Tony D'Angelo. This mob type of gang warfare.
Oh man,
hate me for saying that. He hates Tony D'Angelo so much, and I'm like, dude, it's not that serious with Tony D'Angelo, but I'm gonna bring him up each time. But Jemal, you're going to a show, I believe tonight, right? Where you going to go see?
Yes, it's part of Battle Club Pro Wrestling. It's going to be called Women's Night Out, WCW, on 4/20. It's going to be basically all women's wrestling. The likes of Tasha Steelz, Impact Women's Heavyweight Champion, is going to be there. Willow Nightingale's going to be there. There's going to be Lady Frost is going to be in the house. They have a little invitational going on. Like, there's just so much stuff that's going to, like, I just had to book the tickets. Like, it's one of those things. And being that it's 4/20, everybody going to be high as a motherfucker. Everybody going. We in New York. We in Brooklyn. It's going to be lit. It's going to be high. Everybody going to be high.
For those out there who partake, happy 4/20 to everybody. And this should be a good show. And I told you earlier, I said the best part about going to a wrestling event on 4/20 is that all wrestling smells are eliminated right away. It's odor repellent of the right kind, I believe.
There's actually one more match that I would like to talk about, and that is the who is real and who is not. The match between Flip Gordon and Marty Scurll. And they had a match of who's real and who's not.
Talk about that match, because you shared me, I guess, clips of the match. I didn't actually see it. And Marty Scurll, kind of a taboo, one of the top wrestlers in the world that I believe in 2019 got canceled in 2019. And now him and Flip are fighting who's real.
So basically, if you follow the BTE at not ETE but BTE, how Marty Scurll and Flip Gordon. Marty Scurll was always a thorn in Flip Gordon's side to join the Bullet Club at that time. But then they ended up becoming like a little team or whatever not. And now that they killed off the Marty Scurll character off of BTE, Flip now being regular Flip Gordon, not mercenary Flip Gordon. They were trying to figure out who is real and who is not. So basically, whoever won the match would be real, and then the other person is a fake, is a phony. It's a phony. Yes. And so Marty Scurll ends up winning this match.
He's real. He's real. The dreams were real. The nightmares are real. Marty Scurll's real. It was real.
Flip Gordon isn't real anymore. Oh man, I love pro wrestling.
There's some times when wrestling is really good. We have serious fights like Suzuki and Ishii, and then you just have nonsense of who's real, like Marty Scurll and Flip Gordon, which makes it all fun. It's the only form of entertainment you can do all this in, and no matter what, someone's gonna complain in the end. No matter
Somebody is always gonna complain. Always.
Even if it's a buffet of wrestling, you can watch anything you want. I'm going to complain about this. I have to chime in. Let me get my 2 cents on one or the other. I watched Pope and Cardona fight. Let me complain about Velvet Sky commentary. I guess.
So horrible. Why is May Valentine on my screen? God damn.
Damn. Whole day's ruined. Well, that's about it for ETE. Jemal, tell them where they can find you.
Find me at 3 Faces of Jemal. You can search on the Google bar. I have bars, more infinite than stars, the type of bars that make Willy Wonka go bonkers. You can listen to my music on there. Also, the Midcard Mess podcast. You can also peep that out on SoundCloud. Find me on Facebook. Find me in the Midcard Mess. Go follow the Midcard Mess. Be in the Midcard Mess. Join us. Join us.
Join us. Join the dice.
Join us.
Don't let something get in the way. As we started the show, Jemal was singing the Nirvana song from Batman that burns in your head after you watch the Batman. Because I watched the movie, liked it, song was burned in my head. Rewatched the movie recently, the other day, burned in my head again. And one of these days, I'm not going to watch that movie and just be like, something in the way. Well, until next week, you guys have a good night. Stay safe and live long and prosper. I don't know how to end this show ever.
Live long and prosper.
I feel like I ripped that off of Star Trek, but who cares? Who cares?
Just remember, we got 200 subscribers here on the Sharpshooters. Woo! We are about to be Ichiban.
Yes. And you know what that means. As someone brought up, Last Dragon Watch Along is happening. Manny will watch Last Dragon for the first time, and we will do a watch along to see his reaction. Something that's completely foreign to him whatsoever. This is happening. 200 subscribers. We did it. Congrats to us. Thank you. And you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a great day. Good night. Stay blessed. And eat well. I don't know.